What's going on, everybody? VitalSyntax here, and this is going to be the first video in a series where I go over all the different classes for Medal of Honor Warfighters multiplayer. So I'm going to be going over all 6 classes, and I'm going to talk about their abilities, what type of weapons they have, the Scorechains that they use, what type of setups are best for which type of situations, and also give you guys my personal favorite combination of, what type of gun and attachments and stuff I personally like to use. So for this first episode, we're going to be talking about the sniper class, which is actually the class that I've used the most so far in Medal of Honor Warfighter, just partly because it's so fun to use, and partly because of one specific rifle that I'll get to when I talk about my favorite setups. So let's first start out with talking about the abilities that this class has. So if you didn't know, in Medal of Honor Warfighter, each class has a specific ability. And the sniper's ability is a bipod mixed with a remote type of spotting thing. So on the PC, you press C and you can deploy your bipod. It does take a second to deploy. You have to deploy it onto a flat surface just like you do in Battlefield 3. But with this bipod, it actually will spot enemies that are anywhere in your visual area. And it not only spots them for you and your fire team buddy, but for everybody in your team. So it's actually kind of useful on more open maps that are more geared towards snipers. The only problem is that it does take quite a while to deploy and also quite a while to undeploy, and you're very exposed. You can't move back and forth, crouch or go prone to get behind cover while you have the bipod deployed. And to be honest, personally, I don't use it very much, and it's kind of useless to me at least. Alright, so let's talk about the sidearm. So in each class, they have a different type of sidearm, and it's also good to note that your sidearm has unlimited amount of ammo for all classes. And so if you ever run out low on your primary ammo and your fire team buddy's not around to resupply you, or you don't have a score chain that will do the resupplying for you, you can always switch to your secondary. Although it might not be the most powerful weapon, you definitely always have unlimited ammo. So for the sniper class, we actually are using the G18, the Glock 18, which is a fully automatic sidearm. I believe it has a 30-round magazine, and it is extremely good. At close range, is one of the best sidearms, if not the best sidearm. Arguably the shotgun, the 870 with the point man, is probably even better, but this thing is just really, really good at close range and a little bit good at medium ranges. It's absolutely useless at longer ranges than that, just because it's so inaccurate and has such a high spray surface area. It's really only suited for close range, but that's obviously a good pairing since you're using a sniper rifle as a sniper class, so your secondary is obviously going to be a good kind of partner to your long range rifle that you're using. Alright, next let's talk about the score chains. So the first set of score chains, and there's 4 altogether, and there's an offensive and defensive score chain member you can choose, which is actually a really cool, I think, component of Medal of Honor Warfighter. So the first set is the Switchblade and Smokescreen. So Switchblade being the offensive, Smokescreen being the defensive. So let's talk about what situations these are best used for. So Smokescreen is really good, especially if you're playing an objective game mode, where you want to plant the bomb or give cover to a fire team buddy or somebody else on your team that's planting the bomb. That way that the enemy can't shoot them while they're planting them on, because they can't even see them. And the smoke screen in this game is actually quite large. It has a pretty big cover area, and it's also very, very thick. It's hard to see through, and also lasts for a decent amount of time. So for objective game mode, it's great to cover the objective, so somebody can plant the bomb. Not necessarily you, because as a sniper, you probably don't want to be too close into the action. You probably want to stay away unless you're running around with your G18. Now the Switchblade, which is the offensive first set on the score chain, is similar to a guided missile. You basically set it down like a mortar, and then you shoot it up into the air, and you can control it, and it will land with a huge explosion, and you control all the way down until it hits the ground. And it's actually very, very good. I've gotten a couple quad kills with this thing, triple kills, double kills, lots of double kills. It's very, very good. It's one of my favorite score chains, and it's also pretty easy to get since it's only on that first tier. Now for the second tier, you have the 81mm mortar and the fire team replenish. Now, 81mm mortar is kind of self-explanatory. You pull up your binoculars, choose a location to call it in on. Probably best to call it in on an objective if you're trying to attack or defend it, and kill any enemies that are in that area. It has a pretty big blast radius, and it does quite a bit of damage. Now, the fire team replenish basically gives you and your fire team buddy resupplies all your ammo, and also resupplies your grenades or any other type of special abilities. Say, for example, the point man class has a heavy hitter magazine, which does extra damage, and you can only use that once unless it gets it resupplied, so that will be resupplied as well. Alright, so let's moving on to the third tier is the rocket artillery, or the RQ-7 Shadow. So the rocket artillery is pretty self-explanatory. It's similar to the 81mm mortar. It just has a larger blast radius, does more damage, etc., etc. And then the RQ-7 Shadow is similar to a radar or a UAV, but it can't be shot down. It can't be countered, I believe. One of the Scorechains that a different class has can actually jam the enemy radars. And from what I've heard, this one doesn't get jammed, and it also lasts longer. So just overall, it's a very improved upon UAV. And then the fourth tier, this is the same for all the classes in the game, is the Apache Pilot. I really wish they would add the ability to choose between the pilot and the gunner, because I would personally prefer to be the gunner, because you do get quite a bit more kills, at least in my experience. And I think you should be able to choose between them if you actually earn the score chain. But regardless, all the different classes have the Apache Pilot as their fourth tier score chain. Alright, so then now let's move on to the weapons. So there are 4 weapons that are available to this class. There are lots of different modifications of the weapons, lots of different attachments that can change the weapons around, but really there's only 4 different guns. There's the TAC 300, which is a bolt-action rifle. It's probably the best long range. It's very accurate. It's a 2-shot kill to the body, 1-shot kill to the head. It also can be a 1-shot kill if you're super close and you hit him in the upper chest. And it has a 5-round magazine. 6 if you still have one in the chamber. Next is the OBR 7.62. This is a semi-automatic sniper. It's probably the best close range one. It's a 3-shot kill and has a 20-round magazine. The next is the CS5, which is also a bolt action similar to the TAC 300. It's also a 2-shot kill, but it has a 10-round magazine, so it has a double the magazine size, but it seems like it's a little bit less accurate, and I don't think you can get 1-shot kills to the chest up close, although I could be wrong once again. Synthic hasn't actually released, or Synthic.com hasn't released the full stats for these weapons, so we don't have all the details. And the last gun, which is my personal favorite by far, is the TAC 50, which is a bolt action sniper. It's a 1-shot kill to basically anybody at any range, almost anywhere on the body, and it has a 5-round magazine. Now, it's not always a 1-hit kill. If you shoot somebody in the foot, even sometimes in the shin or the hands, it doesn't kill them. It also depends on what attachments you have on there, because some of the attachments change the effective range and maybe give you more agility, more movement speed. But the increasing the effective range basically allows you to have that 1-hit kill distance increased. And obviously, if you get a headshot, it's still going to be a 1-hit kill. But most of the time, you're going to get a 1-hit kill no matter where you hit them. Alright, so those are the 4 different weapons. Let's talk about my personal favorite setup. And obviously it's the TAC 50, but I like to use, as far as the optics go, is the ST10, which is the lowest magnification scope. It's still a high magnification scope, but it allows you to be a little bit more agile. For the barrel, I like to use the heavy barrel, which increases the effective range, allowing you to get longer, 1-hit kills. For the muzzle, use any type of muzzle brake. Just stay away from the silencers, because those are going to really hinder your ability to do 1-hit kills. For the receiver or the stock, I like to use a precision stock, either position 2 or 4, which also gives you increased range, but lowers your mobility a little bit. For magazine, doesn't really matter. There's only 2 options. And for paint job, obviously it doesn't really matter, although I personally like to go with the black spray, which is kind of like a black matte finish to it. Alright, so let's talk about what the best guns in this class are for best situations. So like I said before, my personal favorite is the TAC 50. But I think the best long-range option is probably the TAC 300, because it's a little bit more accurate. It has less sway. You can hold your breath for a little bit longer period of time. And just overall, it's probably the best for really long shooting. The best close range, I would probably say, is the OBR 7.62, because it's the semi-automatic one. You can spray a lot faster, shoot a lot faster, a lot higher fire rate, and it has a 20-round magazine. And you can even probably throw on like an ACOG or something like that and make it even better at close range. Although, really, if you're playing as a sniper, you probably want to stay at a distance or pull out your G18 if you get into a close range situation. Now, another unique property of each class, just like the secondaries or the primaries, is what type of explosives they have. And the sniper class has trip mines, which you actually get 2 of them every time you respawn, or if you do the fire team replenishes one of your score chains, or your fire team buddy does that, you get 2 more. And essentially what they are is you throw them on the ground, they have a timer, and after about a second or 2, they'll shoot out these strings, and if anybody trips over those strings, they'll blow up. And they do quite a bit of damage. They'll most likely kill somebody if they blow up. You can't really run away from it or anything if you accidentally trip it. I haven't heard if you can go prone and kind of dodge it like a bouncing Betty. I haven't tried that out yet, but they are pretty cool, and they do have a timer. So if you throw one down there and then you know, I don't know exactly how long it is. It's probably like 2-3 minutes, something like that. But if you throw one down, you know, and stay alive for a really long time, chances are that mine might actually time out. But anyway, that is my coverage of the sniper class. Make sure to subscribe for the future class reviews for Medal of Honor Warfighters multiplayer. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give me a like or a favorite, and I'll see you guys later.